Welcome back to Public Affairs on Peach. Whether you want to or not, it's time to look at your year-end finances. My guest this segment can help you do that. We welcome Andrew Poulos from Poulos Accounting and Counseling. Andrew, thanks so much for joining us. Let's start with stocks that actually lost value this year. You say it's not a bad idea to use them to offset what you might owe in capital gains next year, right?
Correct. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning.
Absolutely. Look, we're getting into the year-end time now. We have virtually about 3.5 weeks left, so folks need to analyze their financial situation, everything from financial planning to tax planning. So if you have stocks that are losers this year and you have others that are winners, you probably may want to consider selling off your losing stocks to offset any capital gains, or even yet you can carry forward those losses into 2018 with tax reform looming. There's no telling how you might be able to benefit from it in 18. And you do have until the last business day of the year to sell off those losing stocks.
I'm sure not a lot of people have this problem, but if you have some money you need to get rid of for a little bit, you can always donate to charities as well.
Absolutely. Look, and that's, we are in December. Donations are at the peak during the month of December, so certainly. But the important thing with donating is folks often don't realize there's also a lot of scams going on this time of the year, calls for money and from charities that are fake, or charities basically that may have lost their 501c3 exemption for one reason or another. So if you are going to donate to a charity, other than the big charities that are well known, the Goodwills, the Salvation Armies of the world, you have to make sure, if it's a smaller charity, do some due diligence before you start donating your money, because if you donate and you get audited and it's not a 501c3 charity, guess what? You're going to lose that tax deduction.
You brought up a good point. Does the IRS really scrutinize your charitable donations?
Oh, absolutely. It's Schedule A deductions, what we call itemized deductions, are a hot commodity right now for the IRS. So if you're going to get audited, or if you happen to get audited, be prepared to have documentation. That's the other thing. Just donating without keeping good records is going to get you in trouble if you get audited.
So taking all those clothes and not getting the receipts?
Or keeping good records of what you actually did donate, even with clothes, how many pairs of jeans, or how many pairs of shoes,
oh my goodness,
or how many purses. Absolutely.
All right, Andrew, and this was interesting to me. We're coming up on the end of the year, December. You're saying pay your January mortgage early.
More than ever this year, yes. I always tell folks that if you pay your January mortgage payment, which is technically due on January 1st, if you pay it early and the bank receives it in time to book it in for 2017, the mortgage interest deduction will go in for this year. This is more important than ever before. The reason is, with tax reform possibly coming into effect for 2018 and a change in the itemized deductions, you may benefit much more this year than next year. So if you pay that payment in early, if you make it online and it gets booked in for 2017, you're going to get that extra deduction.
Oh, love that. Now, as we said earlier, a lot of folks have lost jobs, changed jobs, moved. Credit scores are really sagging for probably the worst they've had in years.
Absolutely.
What can people do to bring those credit scores up?
Well, first and foremost, you have to look at your credit report to see where you're at. A lot of people just don't look at it. They don't want to face
reality,
so to speak. That obviously is not going to get you anywhere in life. So look at your credit report. I always advise, with so many scams and so much online fraud going on, review your credit report periodically. When I was in the lending world many years ago, I would tell folks basically that you need to review it, if not once a month, at least once a quarter. If you have issues, you need to work on them. They're not going to mysteriously go away on their own. If you're a millennial or someone young who doesn't have a lot of credit, you need to work towards building up multiple trade lines. Probably 3 to 4 trade lines where you use every card every month, whether it's one for gas, one for a little bit of food, and you effectively pay them off when the bill comes in. But you don't want to have just 1 or 2 trade lines where they're maxed out. That's going to hurt you more than help you.
And then you talk about credit scores and what to do. What about some of these companies that say they can clean up your credit? Should people look at those companies?
You got to be careful. There's some good, legit ones, but there's also a lot of scammers going around where they'll take your money and effectively you're going to be no better off at the end of the day. A lot of the things that can be done, you can do it themselves. If you pull your credit report and there's something on it that doesn't belong to you, you can actually dispute it with the credit bureaus. But you need to dispute it with every credit bureau, because if it comes off of one, your score will go up, but then your score may remain lower on the other 2 credit bureaus. So things that aren't yours, dispute them. The credit bureaus will remove them after they verify that they're not yours. And then from there, other things. If you have very little credit, you need to work towards getting some trade lines, whether it's a auto loan if you're looking for a vehicle, or whether it's a secured credit card. That's also a good way to start. Start with a secured credit card, possibly with an Amex or a Capital One, banks that offer secured credit cards. And then you build your way up to unsecured credit cards to either start up your credit or to build up your credit from where it's at if you've had challenges in the past.
Especially the kids coming out of college, this will be first for them.
Credit drives everything in today's financial economy.
Credit drives everything. Andrew, great information there. Don't go anywhere. We will, of course, have more in the end of the year money advice for you when Public Affairs on Peach returns. Great, great.